Hi guys, welcome back to another tutorial. So in this video I'm going to be showing you exactly how to cut and sew this stylish cowl neck top. I have a video on the 4 different ways you can cut a cowl neck top, and I'm going to be using the third method in this video to cut an actual top. So if you're interested in this video, keep watching this video and let's get right into it. If you range anywhere from size 8 and below, 1.5 yards should just be enough to cut this top. And I'm using patterned crepe, soft stretchy pattern crepe for this top. You want something that would fall, so you can use silk fabric, duchet fabric, or anything that would be soft enough to give the cowl neck effect. For our basic bodice, this is the basic bodice I'm using. The difference between this and regular basic bodice is that the bust part and the waist part is exactly the same measurement. There's no waist shaping on this bodice. It's just the exact measurement I use for my bust that I used for my waist. And this is my back pattern. I'm going to be using it to cut the front pattern also, but we'll start with our back pattern. Now what I'm just doing is that I'm going to cut the facing, what I'm going to use to line or face the neck area. I'm cutting it together with the actual pattern. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to fold. You can use 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches to fold at that upper area, so you can have your facing with it, and then you put your pattern on it, pin down, and leave 1 inch for sewing allowance by the side. You can leave half an inch for joining allowance to the sleeve, and also half an inch at the neck to turn it with the facing. That's all you need to do at the back, and then you go ahead to cut. So now I'm going to place this my neck facing, right side facing the right side, and pin down. I'm going to sew the neck area with half an inch. I'll join the neck area with half an inch and turn and iron. Then we would also need this back bodice to cut our front pattern, and like I said before, I'm using method 3 from my previous video on how to cut a cowl neck, but this one I'm just going to have lesser slashes. What I'm doing is that at the shoulder area I'm dividing it by 2, and then I'm coming down by 4 inches at the neck area, then connect those 2 points together. And I'm going to take the middle of the armhole. I'm going to come down again from that point. You can come down with 2 inches, 3 inches, as wide as you want it to be. It depends. Then I'm going to take one more part at the end of the armhole and then come down again from that point before. If you want to understand this slashing and spreading method very well, you can watch my previous video on how to cut a cowl neck. 4 different methods. I gave 4 different methods on how to cut a cowl neck top, and this is method 3. That one had more slashes. If you have enough fabric, you can go for more slashes. So now this pattern we have cut, I'm going to now use it to cut our front pattern. What I'm going to do is that the center front, I'm putting my fabric on fold. The reason why my fabric is on double fold, because I have enough fabric, so I want the front part of this outfit to be doubled. I want it to be double. I don't want to cut the facing for it so that it will not just be short inside. I want to double the front so that the facing will be like another fabric. So you're going to fold it first horizontally before you fold vertically. I hope I'm explaining it correctly, but just the way I'm folding, you're going to fold it like that, and then you're going to pin down. Now you can now decide to leave as much space as you want in between. Like you can slash and spread with as much. I think I used 4 inches for the first part that's close to the bust area, because I wanted that place to fall more, and then I just did 2 inches in the remaining 2 parts. So if you have more fabric and you slash more, you can just leave 2 inches or 3 inches, as much as you want, but you don't want to leave too much, so you will not have too much cowl. After that, you can go ahead and leave 1 inch sewing allowance at the side, half an inch at the armhole area to join it together. And don't forget to notch the shoulder area, because this part can be very confusing. After that, you can go ahead and remove your pattern from it, and there's just one part I want to show you that may confuse you for this particular method. So at this part where you notch, you will see that there's an extra part we cut. If you drive the same pattern, you see that there's an extra part. So you want to pin down that part and just sew diagonal, just the way I am demonstrating. Just use a curved line to join it to your neck area so that that place will be smooth. You're not going to have any issues. So you're going to just draw a line there before you join the actual shoulder part together. So when you take it to your machine to sew, this is what it's going to look like. Now we have the front part of this top looking all cute and sweet because we doubled it. I like to double it because I also want the inside to be neat in case I don't want to weave the inside area. So now the first thing you want to do is join the shoulder parts together, and for the shoulder part, because both of them have facing, you can open it up and join it together. It's going to be very neat, and you're not going to see any seam because it will be like in-seam joining. So just take the 2 seams at the shoulder area, pin them down together, then use the half an inch you left on both parts of the fabric and just sew a straight line, and then do it on both sides. When you are done, you can iron. I love ironing when I'm working, so I feel like you should also do that. So what you want to do is that shoulder area you've joined, you want to open it up and press it. See, ironing and make your work look so neat, and the quality will just go from 0 to 100. So always iron. So now we're joining the back and the front sides together. If you want it to be very neat, what you want to do first is join the front now has 2 parts. Honestly, you can use just 1 part if you want, but join just 1 part of that front to the back area first, so the 1 inch allowance there, and then you will now join the other part of the front area. It may be confusing, but just join only 1 part of the front area to the back first. Then you're going to use the other part to close it up, so that when you are done, this is what the seam is going to look like. Your seam will not be inside, in between the front and back. Like, you're not going to be able to see where your seam is. It will just be at the middle of the 2 fronts. I don't know if you get what I mean, but if you do this, if you practice it, you'll be able to get it. Now, moving on to the sleeve part of this top, I lost the actual clip and I'm really sorry, so I'm going to be using paper to explain it. So if you're going to cut a sleeve like this, I don't advise you to remove anything from the sleeve length. Use your full sleeve length, so that by the time you put the cuff, that place is going to be full. The sleeve is going to have a full effect. So 23 inches length is what I'm going to be using for this sleeve. So I'm just marking 23 inches on my paper. I'm cutting on fold, and then I'm going to rule a straight line. Now, from that point where I've marked, I'm going to take my tape in a slanted manner and measure half of my armhole. Half of my armhole is 8 inches, and diagonally, that slanted line, I'm going to measure 8 inches, and then I'm going to take the middle of that 8 inches, which is 4 inches, come down by half an inch, and just the way, this is a freehand method. I'm drafting it on paper, but this is like the easiest freehand method of drafting a sleeve pattern. So I'm just going to curve it to that half inch I took, and then curve it to the end of the line. Then I'm adding 1 inch for sewing allowance and joining that line. It is the easiest way to do your sleeve, and you're not going to go wrong if you do it well. So this is it. So whatever I have here on that line, I'm taking the exact measurement down, because this sleeve is going to be a straight sleeve. It's just going to be straight, and we're not going to shape the sleeve because we're going to be using the cuff to shaping it under. So I'm leaving half an inch at the top area for joining, and then I'm just cutting it. So if you're cutting on your fabric, this is what you would do. Then you want to measure your wrist area. For me, I have 7 inches, and I want the cuff to be 3 inches long. Then it's going to be 7 inches round. So if you have your fabric, let's assume this was your fabric, you're just going to put it on fold and then fold it again, because you're going to cut it on fold. So I'm going to measure the half of 7 inches is 3.5, and then I'm going to add 1 inch for sewing allowance, just like we did on our sleeve. I'm doing it at the top area too. And then for the length of the, after joining the lines, for the length of the cuff, we agreed 3 inches for the length of the cuff. So I'm going to measure 3 inches, and then I'm going to add half an inch to this to join it to the actual sleeve. So 3 inches and half an inch to join it to the actual sleeve. So that's 3.5 inches. You can make your own more if you want your cuff to be longer. Then I'm going to rule that line and cut. So this is exactly how you do your cuff. It's just this one, I use plain crepe fabric to do the cuff, and then use patterned crepe to do the sleeve area. So you can do yours the same way if you want. Now I'm going to show you how you're going to join it if you are doing this on your fabric. This place now, the under of the sleeve is going to be pleated on this cuff part. So I'm showing you, this is the midpoint. This cuff now is full, but the sleeve is on fold, is half. So let's assume that midpoint now is the half of the cuff too. So that's the front of your sleeve, and this is the front of the cuff area. So you are going to do right side facing wrong side. So the right side of the cuff and the wrong side of the sleeve, that's what you are going to sew together. And then when you've sewn that together, you are now going to use the front of the cuff to cover the stitch and stitch on top that place. I just hope you understand. It's very easy. This is how to put a cuff. This is the easiest way to put a cuff on a sleeve. So that's how you just sew it, and then you just sew the side with 1 inch. So this is the actual sleeve. Sorry, I lost the footage. That's why I use paper to explain. So now I'm just pinning the sleeve that we have done. I'm pinning the actual sleeve to the dress. You're going to pin it on both sides. It's going to fit if you do the correct measurement, and then take it to your machine and sew. Then you go ahead and fold the under of the top, and once you have done that, this is what we have. Very simple, very straightforward. Go ahead and iron. Let me know if it's something you're going to try. Let me know if you found this video helpful. If it was helpful to you, don't forget to share this video, hit that subscribe button, drop a lovely comment and subscribe. Let me know which other video you would like to see. See you in my next video. Until then, keep winning.